Welcome back on the AM show. After my blunt thoughts, but another blunt issue that needs to be tackled. Well, fresh escalation in the Bawku area, renewed fighting, renewed conflict, renewed shooting, I may put it that way. But to help us situate this conversation, which we're about to have, to find out what the way forward is, I am joined now by Albert Sorry. He'll be telling us about what exactly happened yesterday. Albert Sorry, a very good morning to you. Hello, Albert.
Hello, Ben. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, loud and clear. Albert, I want you to do us the favor of walking us through what exactly happened, where, when, how, and what the latest is on the Bawku situation.
So on Wednesday afternoon, from the information that we've gathered, some gunmen fired at some people who were at a park where people go to board tricycles. Because of the ban on motorbike riding in Bawku because of the conflict, people tend to use the tricycles more to get to their various destinations. And so there is this park very close to the Bawku Community Center, just opposite the Bawku Police Station. We're told that they fired at some people in this area. This was on Wednesday afternoon at about 12:30. Now, after the incident, there were a number of people who sustained gunshot injuries.
Okay.
From the information we have gathered, one person died on the spot. Police moved to the area, and when they gathered information, they were told that the injured were taken to two hospitals, a private hospital called Vineyard Hospital and the Bawku Presby Hospital. And so the injured were about 6 people who were, on admission. But sadly, yesterday morning, which was Thursday morning, one of the people who had been injured and receiving treatment in hospital, a 19-year-old young man, also unfortunately died. So the number of people from this incident who lost their lives from the information we gathered.
Are you saying, Albert, I'd appreciate it if you could speak up a bit. Are you saying 2 people have lost their lives on the back of this?
Yes, Ben. So
okay,
the number of people who have died are 2, and the number of people who are currently in hospital receiving treatment are 5 now.
Okay.
And yes, and out of that number, we're told that 2 of them are female, including a 17-year-old girl. So this was the incident that happened. Now, following the incident on that Wednesday night, during curfew hours, we are told that there was a lot of sporadic shooting in the air as the military also tried to calm things down, and so it was very fierce from what we've gathered from the Bawku residents, because a whole lot of shooting was taking place. No reported injuries or deaths from that. But it made it very difficult for people to sleep peacefully that night. But eventually calm returned. The security were able to calm the situation down. And yesterday people, went about their normal everyday activity, except that it was with some tension in the air. In the midst of all this, the district chief executive and the regional minister, have not been able to speak to us. All our efforts to reach them yesterday were not successful.
But do you know whether the DISEC and the REGSEC have met on this matter yet?
Yes. Yesterday I spoke with the municipal chief executive on the phone via WhatsApp, because we tried to reach him. His phone, he wouldn't answer his phone, but later he told us that he had been busy because of this incident. So DISEC normally would go to the ground, gather information, and then brief the Regional Security Council. And that is why they probably were not able to speak to us on it. But this is generally the information that we have been able to gather on this incident.
What has been the reaction of the people in Bawku, if you've got to interact with any? How do they feel about this renewed scene of chaos? What was the reaction?
Well, before this incident, there was also another reported incident somewhere last week where a young man is said to have been ambushed and killed also. And so because of this, it made it very difficult because this is just the second week of January, which is this new year, and already at least 3 people have lost their lives. And so the people of Bawku are, worried that this whole conflict and the ongoing killings may never stop. When you speak to them, this is the sense that you get from what they tell you.
We also know, I do not know for a fact, can you get to the bottom of what exactly caused this latest shootout or shooting?
Well, we do not know, but over the time, as far as conflict is concerned, it appears that people now tend to target each other. So from time to time, people, they get traced because, normally they would look out for people who are on the opposite side of this disagreement, and then so they typically track each other. And
so it's like a stalking or gang fighting, stalking. Those on the other side. You target them. Once you see them, you try to ambush them. Something like that.
Basically, yes. So we're thinking that this incident was the same.
There has been a series of curfews. In fact, there was a time when you couldn't even put on the traditional gear, the batakari and the rest, because people were hiding weapons on them. And still, all of these are happening. Have you got any reaction from the Ghana Police Service?
For the last 1 year, the Ghana Police Service in the region doesn't speak to journalists as far as this Bawku incident is concerned, at least not even on record. Normally when you speak to them, sometimes some of the leadership, like the PRO or the district commander of Bawku, they may give you some information, but they would ask not to be quoted or even to, be recorded because of the order from Accra, which says that not everyone within the service should speak to the media. And so that is how it has been over the last 1 year or so. Now, on the question you asked about the ban, the ban is actually still in place. You are not allowed to wear a smoke in Bawku. Motorbike riding is not also allowed, and curfew is still in place. The thing that most people don't understand is how people are still able to shoot during curfew hours. And
which is what I also don't understand, which is why I'm asking, because I also don't understand.
Yes. Exactly. So nobody knows how this happens. Sometimes it appears they hide in the cover of night, they hide in places, and they fire into the air and all of that. And the security are not able to give you any explanation as to how this is happening. And this is why the residents of Bawku, seem to, they actually think that the government is not really tackling the issue of this conflict the way they should be doing.
Albert Torre, thank you so much for situating the conversation for us. And we'll look forward to more as and when you gather such information. We hope to hear from the DISEC, the RegSec, and of course, it's a national issue that has to be dealt with. But let's come now to Dr. Victor Doki. He's a lecturer at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. He joins the conversation now. Dr. Doki, a very good morning to you. Thank you for joining the conversation.
Brother, how are you?
I am well. Since it's the first time this year, Happy New Year as well.
Prosperous New Year to you too.
Great. Even before we get into the extant issue we're looking at in Bawku, how would you describe the Bawku situation, which has gone on, I mean, as long as we remember, for many decades, this has been a problem. How would you describe it? Some are even on the verge of describing it as intractable conflict, but how would you describe it?
Yes, I agree with those who use the word intractable, and it's a protracted one. Complex dynamics keep changing every time. That results into armed violence. Now, when you look critically and analyze the situation in Bawku, you would agree that there are many issues unresolved that connect to reprisal attacks or attacks due to vengeance or injustice felt on either side. With what is happening, it's more like a tactic in relation to identifying who is or would have a connection with regards to the conflict itself. Now you have the Kusasis and Mankusis feeling aggrieved, okay? And then you have the 15th of February incident last year, right? The installation of the chief in Naulegu. That has a connection to all of this. That issue has not been dealt with. So now you would know that on the Kusasi side, they are on the watch. Where is this gentleman who was installed as the Fokunaba? His whereabouts are unknown. Now, my checks last month show that there was some sort of way or process trying to sneak him into the town, but it didn't happen.
This was when? Last week?
Last month.
Last month?
Sorry, in December.
Okay.
In December, yeah. So that was what my checks revealed. However, this should be a sense of worry on the part of the security services, the intelligence agencies, okay, to monitor the situation, especially that gentleman. Because now, if you have one side wanting to bring in an installed chief, whilst there is already a chief there, then you can imagine what can happen. With the death of this lecturer, now, this is more like a targeted killing. We are yet to know, per investigations, his real connection to the conflict. Why was he targeted? And this sort of killings, if we don't take care, would continue. Because then if people are identified, okay, to be connected or linked with the conflict, in having to play roles that would not benefit the other, you can imagine what would happen. The other issue I would want to talk about is the proliferation of arms in Bawku. You know, previously the government rolled out a program, Arms for Cash.
Yeah.
It was unsuccessful. Now, since that we haven't had any program of sorts.
But this was even, if I'm not mistaken, this Arms for Cash thing was even before the first term of this administration, right? I remember the Interior Ministry a long time ago, if that's what you're referencing.
Yes. So my point is that apart from that one, what have the state institutions done with regards to making sure that the illegal arms in Bawku are retrieved? Because you can't have arms in the system there and expect that there will be peace. These two actors don't trust each other. So if we don't trust each other, what do we hold on to? The arms. And this is what we know that we can go into combat with. And arms signifies authority, it signifies power. So now you want these youths who are in possession of sophisticated weapons to surrender. There has to be a very comprehensive program at that. Now, with regards to that one, then you need to lay the foundation. Okay, structural prevention, create jobs, opportunities for these youths now to say, I earn more, so I don't need to fight. You need to tackle the issue of those shadow stakeholders somewhere in Accra, Kumasi, or wherever, fueling these youths to engage.
And
What about
you've made an important point about those in Accra fueling all of this. I'll get back to you on that point, but permit me, Doc, just briefly. Let me also bring in the Member of Parliament for Bawku Central, Mahama Ayariga. I want his take on this matter. Mr. Ayariga, very good morning to you.
Morning.
I know it's not the best of mornings, especially on the back of what has happened, but what is your reaction to this renewed source of conflict where people have been shot at, 2 people now confirmed dead, 5 people receiving medical treatment, out of which 2 are female. And this was actually close to a police station. So it tells you about the temerity of the assailants. What do you make of it? What have you heard? And how did it make you feel?
Unfortunately, we even had additional killings last night, this time by members of the armed forces themselves. They went into the Sabongari community where young men were sitting and just having their conversation just before the curfew time. And they pounced on some 4 young men. One managed to escape. And then they apprehended 3. The one that was escaping, they fired gunshots at him. Fortunately, they missed all their aim, and he, made it away.
Did you say fortunately or unfortunately? Did you say fortunately they missed?
Fortunately, they missed, because if they had hit him, he would have died. So for me, it's fortunate that they missed. But if they hadn't missed, it would have killed the boy for me, you understand? So for me, it's fortunate that they missed. So they missed their aim, and he managed to escape alive. And then they beat the 3 of them mercilessly. The assemblyman for the area came out, tried to intervene. They refused to listen to the assemblyman. And they beat these boys and finally shot the 3 of them.
Wait, let me get it clear. You are saying these are military personnel?
Yes.
Soldiers in the Ghana Armed Forces.
This was just last night at about 7:30 to 8 p.m. And they beat the boys and they shot them. They include Dauda Musa, Mumuni Jalil, Alasan Latif. These boys were cold-bloodedly murdered last night. I confronted senior members of the military about the incident early this morning, and their reason was that, they found a weapon with them. I said, but you apprehended them. Even if you found a weapon with them, when you apprehended them, you should arrest them and take them to the police station and lock them up. Let's prosecute them. If you find a weapon with somebody and you actually physically arrest the person, you hold the person for about 2 hours, beat the person mercilessly, and finally just shoot and kill. This is what they did last night. And I'm so scandalized by what the soldiers have done. And the youth are grieving. This is very, very saddening. And I can't imagine that, under President Akufo-Addo, our soldiers have been transformed into murderers, and they are just basically killing young people and not being worried about it. If you recall, last year, they went to a community and shot and killed. When the matter came up in the media, they issued a statement saying that they neutralized those people. And when I asked them, okay, what were they holding when you neutralized them? Did you find weapons? But when you neutralize somebody, it has to be somebody who is engaging you in a violent confrontation.
Right.
But you didn't find anything on these people, and you neutralized them. I took the matter to Shraj. 3 weeks ago, Shraj wrote back to me saying that the military were denying that they had even killed those people. People that they themselves issued statements confirming that they neutralized them. Now they are denying flatly that they killed those people. And then last night, you went into a community not far from where the first incident occurred and just apprehended young people and shot them, cold-blooded. If they were escaping and you had shot them, so they are escaping, and then the only way I could stop them was to fire, and then I instead of hitting their legs, it hit the chest, and the person died. So you actually apprehended them. The assemblyman came, pleaded with you to release them, or at least arrest them and send them to the police station. You drove everybody away. Then you shot those boys in the community, in the presence of the community.
Did this happen within your constituency?
Yes, in my constituency, Sabongari, I was even the assemblyman for the area before I became member of parliament. So it is my electoral area. My electoral area. This is my electoral area.
So let me just clarify, because I have the Upper East Regional Minister. I'll be going to him shortly. But let me just clarify from you. So how did you get to know of this? Who told you of this? Have you seen the bodies? I mean, what is?
I'm the member of parliament. I'm the member of parliament of the place. It is my electoral area. I was assemblyman for the place. Any incident that happens, within seconds, I get a report. When shooting starts, within minutes, I get a report.
All right.
Somebody will call me and tell me that shooting has started.
Mr. Ayariga, hold for me. Hold for me. Because I'm sure you are also curious. You want to find out what is happening. The person who sits on the red...
I know what has happened. I know what has happened.
No. I'm saying you want...
have told me what has happened.
No, I'm sure you also want some responses. That's what I mean. And we have the regional minister. He sits on the RegSec, right? You would want to hear from him. So please hold for me. Let me bring in Stephen Yakubu, who is the Upper East Regional Minister. Mr. Yakubu, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, and good morning to all your listeners.
Right. Tell me, what briefing have you got so far? First of all, the shootout at this park, close to a police station, 2 people dead, 5 people hospitalized. And now, we're being told by the Member of Parliament for Bawku Central, Mahama Yariga, that last night, 3 of these young men, 1 escaped narrowly, 3 of them picked up, were not taken into police custody, and gunned down in cold blood. Have you got reports of these?
Yes, I have. I want to say hello to the Honorable Member of Parliament of Bawku, and also to say a good morning to all of our listeners. I listened briefly to the Honorable MP of Bawku Central. It's very unfortunate what is happening in the race, and together we are working very hard to make sure that there is peace in the area. As a regional minister, what I don't know is for us to draw policies into it. And I heard him say Nanado's government and all that. This conflict is over, in fact, it's older than us. So if things happen, we are in Upper East there, we are on top of them. We know exactly what is happening. He is in Accra here. He comes there once in a while. And of course, an issue like this, if you are just going to be listening to what people are saying and you are actually not on the ground, and also listening to the military, listening to RegSec, listening to the security services, you're just listening to one side. Definitely, you will not get to the bottom of the matter. What I will say is that we should calm down, and then let us all see how we bring a peace to the area fast, and know that his success will be bringing peace to Bawku. The way he's talking is not going to bring peace to Bawku. So we are working very hard.
But Mr. Yakubu,
we are doing our best, our utmost best. And you can remember, if I draw you back to about 2 or 3 weeks ago, you will see that Bawku, it was calm. Bawku was calm. The Upper East in general, we are very hard to get where we are. This year is an election year. I don't want us to draw this 15-year-old, so old conflict into a mere political game. So I think that we should stop the politicking. We should look at how to resolve some of these issues by practical solutions, but not bringing this into some kind of politics. It won't help it.
Mr. Yakubu, I don't know where the politicking is coming from, whether it's been the MPP in the past or the MPP president, the NDC in the past or the NDC president. We know this conflict has gone on for decades. But the point is, 2 people have been killed in the earlier incident, with 5 receiving treatment. Now, 3 young men have been killed. One escaped by the skin of his teeth. Should people not be upset about that? Are people blowing this out of proportion? Is that what you're saying?
We are all upset. We are all upset. You understand? We are all, lives have been lost. Lives have been lost. We are all upset. What I am saying is that even the mere fact of us bringing politics is great. It's not good. That is all what I'm saying. I am not trivializing what has happened. What I'm saying is that we should be very careful what we say about it, because it's everything, are there to take all of us. You understand? So if something has happened, we should go deeper into it and then engage them and find out exactly what happened. You understand? But the way the Honorable MP is taking and saying things and mentioning some particular government and all that, it's not going to help anyone. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I appreciate your point, but help me here. So in respect of the 2 different killings, what briefings have you got? For example, with the killing of the 3 by the soldiers, you say you've got a briefing on it. What has the briefing been? What accounted for the killing? Were the people trying to escape? Did they engage the military officials? What happened? Can you share?
According to the military, they engaged the people. That is one side of the military, because they also informed me that these individuals, they didn't see AK-47 from them, and they have even given the AK-47 to the police as we speak. Okay, that is their story. I've also had the other side.
Please, Mr. Yakubu, my apologies. My apologies. I just want to clarify. So you say they engaged the police?
The military.
That they engaged them in a shootout of sorts?
That is what I am getting from the military. Okay?
Okay, so this was return fire. This was return fire that killed them.
The other side is also telling me that the community and the family, they are also telling no, it wasn't. In fact, the issue is even also about the curfew time. And what time did this thing happen? Did it happen outside the curfew time or within the curfew? You understand? So we literally say it happens in the curfew time. The others are also, the community is also saying that it happened outside the curfew. So we are trying to find out exactly what time did it actually happen. And we are going deep down, investigating to show that because the military used AK-47, and you know that AK-47 and assault weapon. That is what they are saying. And they are saying that they're giving even the assault weapon to the police with the court and everything. The police are investigating. So that is what the briefing that I'm getting from the military. But the community is also saying otherwise. So we need to take our time to find out exactly what. And it's very unfortunate that it has happened. My condolences to all the families those who have lost their loved ones. It's not easy for someone to lose his or her loved ones. But what I am saying that as politicians, we should be very careful what comes out of our mouth so that it doesn't tear this problem to its highest level. That's all what I'm saying.
And in respect of the first incident, we hear there was some targeting. Can you give me why you think, or what briefing you've got on why those people were shot?
You mean
the initial incident? Yes.
Which initial incident?
The one at the school park close to the police station, and the people getting shot. I mean, do you have any other details on that?
Yes, I think I listened to the MP yesterday. It was exactly what I thought. Also, an unknown person came to the police station area and then opened fire. And of course, some people were injured, and then one person lost his life. So that's the thing that I got. So we are also trying to arrest the perpetrator, and they are doing a lot of. There are a lot of problems. Sometimes some of this, but they are not ready to talk about. They are not ready to say anything. You understand? So that is the briefing that I have got on that one also. So that is fine. So we put a lot of people down, the police, intelligence, military intelligence, and they are all on the ground trying to find out who actually perpetrated this crime. So this is what we are doing.
Okay. Please just hold for me, Mr. Yakubu. I have two questions for you, but before that, I can hear that Honorable Mahama Yariga is itching to say something. I believe there's something he wants to share. Mahama Yariga,
Mr. I don't want the Honorable MP and I on video. You know,
no, it's not going to be a banter, but he may have a question for you.
No.
So,
it's not going to help. Look, it's not going to help the situation on the ground. Please. It's not going to help the situation on the ground, and that is why
But is that not going to help us get clarity on the matter?
It's not going to help anything on the ground. It's rather going to create problems on the ground. I am there, and I know exactly what I'm talking about. So please,
right.
I've explained it to you. I think I want to go off now. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Mr. Yakubu, just hold for me. Mr. Yakubu, are you still with me?
Yes, I am with you.
Okay, Mahama Yariga, I think you've heard what he said, so I can't bring you in for now. He doesn't want to have a conversation on. At least he doesn't want that banter.
But that's not
Mr. Yariga, just hold.
That's not fair.
No, Mr. Yariga, please hold for me. Please hold for me. I need to conclude this conversation. Okay, so I'm going to.
He can go off air, then I will respond. If he doesn't
no, that's fine. But I want to conclude with him, and then I'll come to you to do that.
Exactly, yes.
So just hold. Mr. Yakubu, so two quick questions. One, Dr. Doki, for example, has spoken about something we know, arms proliferation. What is being done to control the arms situation? Because you just see so many arms, sophisticated arms in Bawku. Where are people getting these from? And what are the control mechanisms? Two,
that is the question that we have to
number two, when is RECSEC meeting on this matter? Those two quick questions, Mr. Yakubu.
When is RECSEC meeting on which matter?
I mean, this latest incident, I do not know whether there's been a meeting. I spoke to our correspondent, Albert Sori. He wasn't able to tell me whether RECSEC had sat on the matter, which is why I'm asking you when RECSEC is likely to, have any meeting on these matters.
There's a lot we are dealing with right now. This issue, something also happened in Bolga. Yesterday, I instructed that MUSEC should meet on it. And MUSEC is meeting on it. There's a whole lot of processes that we are doing. The military, the police, MUSEC, RECSEC, and all that. So, and then we come, the world is come together and sit and look at. But what we are doing, as you are asking, is how do we calm them down? This is a very serious matter. How do we calm them down? And that is what I am thinking on my junior brother, Honorable Ayaraga, for us to not to step on air, because it will rather go back and create more problems. Now, do you understand? We are all the same thing. We are saying that, hey, this killings must stop. We are saying that we need peace in the Upper East, we need peace in Bawku. We should complete on all this. We are all the same thing. But for us to be on air and talking about it and playing politics with it, it's never going to help anyone. Do you understand? And that is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But we are doing a lot. And as I told you, within a month or so, people, coming back to, at least, people where markets were ongoing and all other things. It's been very difficult for everybody. Do you understand? We are working 24/7 to make sure that we bring peace to the area. It hasn't been easy. As the question that you asked, we all ask ourselves, how come that we are having all these sophisticated outdoor weapons there? And we are feeling all Ghanaians. Everybody, the military and all the security services work with intelligence. You understand? And the intelligence, where do we get intelligence? From the same Ghanaians. You understand? If you see anything that you think that would help the city, please let us know. And then you will respond. And then we will all be, happy in the Upper East. I don't want to play with him. And I think that I'm also appealing that the way he is talking, he should be very careful, because otherwise it is tearing parties and it's not going to help in over. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Yakubu. We're grateful for your time. Mr. Yakubu, Stephen Yakubu is the Upper East Regional Minister. Mahama Yariga, he says you should be careful how you're speaking because your words could be inflammatory. How do you respond? You've heard what he said.
I've been member of parliament there for about 4 terms now. I've been living with this problem for decades. I believe I understand the problem far better than he, Stephen Yakubu, understands it. and I have lived through the problem. And he dare not say on radio that I live in Accra. I was in the constituency for 10 days. I left just last week. I visited over 300 homes. 300 homes within the period that I was there. And he can send people to go and touch. And I don't report to him when I get to the constituency. And I don't report to him when I leave the constituency. So he doesn't know my level of attachment to the constituency. And that's why I keep being member of parliament there. Now, he has to be frank and admit that the situation we have on the ground in Bawku is the doing of the NPP government. And you know that.
But why do you want to say it is the MPP's reason? This problem has been a long-standing problem. Why do you want to pin it on the MPP?
Listen, this problem started in the 50s, and the Governor General resolved it in favor of Kusasi. Then the NLC came and reversed the decision of the Governor General. And that was when it started. And if you go and look at the history of this problem always emerges again when the Dankwa Buzia tradition is in power. Rawlings resolved this problem in 1987. And since then we had peace in Bawku until the day that President won the election. I was physically on the ground that day. I saw what happened. We struggled with it under the Kufuor regime. When Kufuor left office and then NDC came back, the situation stabilized and normalized. Again, throughout the NDC period, we had peace. Everybody even thought that the Bawku problem was now permanently solved until Nana Akufo-Addo won again. Then it reset. So he knows the politics of it. He knows what his government has been doing or refusing to do to deal with the problem, solidly on the ground. Somebody has gone to ensnare a rival chief in Nalergu. You have given orders that the person should be arrested. Has the person been arrested? And then you think that by just stationing soldiers on the ground, you will bring peace in Bawku. You know clearly that it will not. And I've told you consistently that this will not. It will not. So don't say that I'm saying things that will bring insecurity and etc. The insecurity is already here with us. We are dying every single day. Some people died 3 days ago. Some died yesterday. 5 days ago, some died. Many are injured and are in the hospital. And you tell me that, I shouldn't be passionate about it? That's not fair. That's not fair to those who are dying every day. But
Mr. Ayariga, to be fair to Mr. Yakubu, he said that it's not that people shouldn't be upset or concerned about the situation, but you should watch the tone so that it doesn't spark further chaos. It doesn't degenerate further. I think that's what he said.
And I'm telling you that we are already in the chaos. We are already in the chaos, and government must do what they need to do. And I'm saying that they have failed to do what they need to do. They say one thing and they do a different thing. And it is true that last night the guys were killed by soldiers. He hasn't denied that.
Yeah, but you heard the report from the military. They were saying these people engaged them and they shot back. You heard me ask him that question. And that's what the soldiers are saying.
That is absolutely untrue. Absolutely untrue, because the soldiers apprehended 3 of the boys. The assemblyman came out and pleaded with the soldiers. The soldiers refused, drove everybody away, beat the guys mercilessly, and finally, when people were in their homes, they saw that the guys had been shot. Send your own team to go to the community and find out. And you shouldn't tell me that I'm far away, so I don't know what is happening. I get briefings every minute. Whatever happens in Bawku, within minutes, I get to know, because there's no corner that I don't have a person sitting there who would have seen it that I can call and find out what did you see, and they will tell me exactly what they saw. Why? These same soldiers who shot and killed people, when I took them on, they issued a statement saying that yes, they neutralized the people. When I went to Shrike, the same soldiers now deny that they didn't kill anybody. When they had publicly told Ghanaians that they neutralized those, what do you mean by you neutralized? And today I said that you never killed anybody. This same regional minister, when soldiers went to Garu and beat up people and injured them, one has even died. This regional minister went to Garu and told the Garu people that, oh, he's sorry for what happened there, but that the soldiers were coming to beat and maim people in my constituency and made their way and came to Garu. How could you, a regional minister, ever say that, even if that was the objective of the soldiers? And today you're telling me that I should not speak about it publicly. I mean, come on.
Please.
People are being killed every day. You're saying I shouldn't speak about it publicly? Why should I speak about it? I should speak about it in my bedroom?
Mr. Ayerwe, you cannot also assume that the regional minister is not concerned. He is obviously concerned. But hold for me briefly, because there's a last bit I want to come to you. Let me also bring in Dr. Victor Doki. Dr. Doki, I know because we've had to go around like this, it's been a while since I came to you. My apologies. But having listened to both sides, you've listened to the regional minister, you've listened to the member of parliament in whose constituency this happened, Bawku Central. What do you make of everything that is happening? In fact, interestingly, I saw a bit of it may not necessarily be applicable, I don't know, but I saw a post on social media where someone was saying, listen, we probably have to split the two sides, remove them from where they are, maybe set up a military base or something to take over parts of those places and then let them live in different parts so that they don't come together and clash. I don't know whether that's realistic, but from where you sit, what do you make of everything that is happening?
So listening to the two honorables, right, that gives a sense to all of us the political dynamics, okay, in relation to this particular conflict, which has proven time and time again to influence this particular conflict in a negative way. Okay. Now, coming to this substantive issue about having a military camp of a sort, when you go to Bawku, and I stand to be corrected by the Honorable Ayariga, there's some sort of a military base, okay, right entering into Bawku. And he can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's not even what I'm talking about. The suggestion is that we should, I wouldn't say displacement, but remove them, separate them completely so that they don't come together. Do you get it? So they are moved, pushed back, and that entire piece of land is used for, I don't know, like I said, I don't know how feasible it is, but with the political undertones, I don't know how much farther we can take this. That's what I'm saying.
It would never be possible to move people who are stating their claim to be indigents, right from the word go, from their land and go where?
Yeah.
Do you understand? People that lived there decades, have lives, have investments over there, and where are you moving them to? So that is a no-go area you can talk about. So let's forget about that. Now, let's look at how we can address these particular issues, okay? The Honorable Minister acknowledges the proliferation of arms. What are we doing? What are we doing for these youths to surrender these arms? That's one thing. What are we doing with regards to the Bawku Inter-Ethnic Peace Committee? Okay, that's been set up, mandated to look at outstanding issues in Bawku to be resolved so people do not feel aggrieved and then act on injustice. Okay, let's treat criminal matters criminal. If people are arrested and evidence has been found that they have been involved in any criminal activity, they should be taken to court. Let the law deal with them. Without that, you would have the other party also stating claim that because there is injustice, I have a right to fight for my own. And that exacerbates the situation. Let's look at how we can resource the National Peace Council, mandated institutions, okay, that have been given the authority to come into this situation and offer or profess solutions to let the situation be addressed once and for all. Until we do all of this, we will not go anywhere. We would always have the issues about sending in security men, right, curfews in place, and then the issue about the illegal weapons are still in the system. So you ask yourself, there is curfew. So how are these cacophonous shootings still going on? That tells you that these youths know the area better than these security services themselves. So we need to attack the situation holistically. The political dynamics will be there, but then we should ensure that it does not create an avenue to exacerbate the situation already as it is. We have elections coming up. The atmosphere is already getting hotter and hotter. We cannot have a situation with this linking to the political atmosphere getting into December. That would not be good for the people of Bawku and Ghana in general.
I don't know what it will take to bring an end to this situation. In the meantime, I have a serious concern, and I'm going to voice it to you, Mr. Ayariga, and maybe get your take, Dr. Doki. Then that's how we will end it. On Facebook, our live stream, and I've taken a screenshot. There's someone called Dat Mampusi Guy. That's not his name, of course. And I say that, D-A-T. Mampusi Guy. And Mr. Ayariga, you might want to take this up because this person, I'll not read the whole thing, but he is suggesting that you are the main problem, and he is swearing by Nagbewa that they will do you harm, basically terminate you. I suggest that you try and track this person and get to the bottom of it for your security as well. But how do you react to something like this? It's a threat on your life.
Mampushis are my blood relations. Some Mampushi blood runs through my veins. Kusasis are my blood relations. Both sides are my people. I've lived with these threats for about 15 years now, where every day, somebody is threatening to assassinate me, to kill me, to harm me, to stop me and do whatever, burn my house. They even burnt my mother's house some time ago. I've never publicly spoken about it because, so far as I'm concerned, there's a problem that we need to deal with, which is be fair and firm, be committed to the truth, and to insist that the right thing should be done, because it is only when you do the right thing that you can actually bring about peace in Bawku.
But have you informed the police? Have you informed the police about these threats?
Oh, look, I don't waste my time on that. I focus on the problem. So even the day before yesterday, there was a video roaming around in which somebody, with his face, the people that some friends of mine and brothers and family members knew them directly, threatening to kill me, kill my brother Hassan Ayarga, kill my elder brother Bunaba, the NDC regional chairman. But I just ignore all that. Every day, personally, I have hundreds of threats to my life, by Mampushis in Bawku, by Moshis who are affiliated to Mampushis. But, they are my family. I go there all the time. I talk to them every morning. When they have needs, they call me. I satisfy their needs. Even those who are threatening to kill me, when they have needs, they call me. I satisfy their needs. So for me, that's not the issue. The issue is, let's deal with the underlying cause of the problem, which is the fact that NCC promised Mampushis chieftaincy. And then I told them that you will not get it. They cannot deliver. It's not true. It's not possible. And they refused. And then the people followed them, voted for them, believing that they would actually give them chieftaincy. And then they have deceived them. They have fought. They have killed themselves. They have died. And now they are telling them in the face that we cannot give you chieftaincy. That is the underlying cause of the problem. People are refusing to be truthful about it. And when I speak, people say that they should bring my head. That is the fact. That's the truth. And Stephen Yakubu knows it. The regional minister knows it. That's the fact of the matter. You can't give them chieftaincy. You deceive them to vote for you, believing that if they vote for you, you give them chieftaincy. Anytime you are in office, they say, we voted for you, so can you deliver? You refuse to deliver. When you refuse to deliver, then they start fighting. So if we fight, you will be forced to deliver. When they are fighting and killing themselves, they say, still we will not deliver. You are the cause of the problem. That's why the day that they leave office, the NDC comes to the office, you will not hear of any problems in Bawku. But the people know that these ones who have taken over have not promised us anything. So even if we fight, we are fighting for nothing.
All right.
That is the fact. That is the underlying cause of the problem in Bawku.
All right. Mahama Ayariga, we're grateful for your time with us this morning. He's the Member of Parliament for Bawku Central. Dr. Doki, you have the final word, briefly. Dr. Doki?
Yes, my brother, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yes. So briefly, what I can say is now, listening to the conversations and then analyzing what's going on in Bawku now, we need to have a holistic approach to it. Let's get the state institutions that are mandated with regards to conflict resolution resourced, capacity building is needed, and then let's not neglect the committee in Bawku itself. Okay, They have been mandated, selected. Those who have gone out of the committee because of various reasons should be encouraged to come back, resource them, empower them, build their capacity with regards to conflict resolution, and then get the youth involved in peacemaking. Okay, yes, we have deployed, the military is keeping the peace, the curfew is there, but if we do not attack or profess solutions to outstanding issues, which are numerous, we will not get anywhere. The root cause we all know, but proximate factors such as these ones would always come and then lead into triggers. This is what we need to tackle. The preventive mechanisms that needs to be in place, the early warning system, let's build it. Whatever is there that has to be done, the civil society organizations in that area particularly, let's get them involved for them to be also addressing these kind of issues, youth engagement, women empowerment, and all of that. Then we can get somewhere.
Thank you so much, Dr. Doki. He, of course, is a lecturer at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. Interestingly, we've got someone also joining the conversation right before we go. It's the Bawku MCE in the person of Amadou Hamza Zanga. We just got him. Mr. Zanga, very good morning to you. Hello, Mr. Amadou Hamza Zanga. Are you with us?
Yes.
Thank you so much for doing us the honors. So with everything that has happened, I mean, we've spoken to the Upper East Regional Minister, Stephen Yakubu. We've spoken to Mahama Yarga, MP for Bawku Central. I'd like to find out from you, what do you make of everything that is happening? Has it come to MUSEC?
Yeah, this is a matter for good morning and good morning once again to our cherished listeners. Yes, I actually want us to look at this matter without any political lenses.
Okay.
Bawku, as Mahama Yarga indicated, the conflict in Bawku started way back in the 50s. But I was very surprised, and I was not happy with the way Mahama Yarga tackled the matter. He has just taken it completely from the political line, which is not supposed to be the case. You are attacking the NPP government, and you are even going ahead to say that the NPP government was the one who promised Mampushi people chieftaincy. It's not true, and I beg to differ from him. It's a palpable lie. NPP government never. He should come out with evidence to prove where the NPP government had indeed met with Mampushis and promised them chieftaincy in Bawku. He's saying also that the NPP government, anytime they are in power, then there's crisis in Bawku. I beg to differ from Mahama Yarga. Let me put it straight on record that look, apart from the 50s one, where there were some few pockets of violence, the major violence that we have in Bawku was in 1983, 1984, 1985, and 1986. Ask Mahama Yarga, under whose leadership did this happen? That was the PNDC regime. We all know how the PNDC metamorphosed itself into the NDC. And it is so, is he telling us that at the time that this conflict erupted in 1984, 1983, 84, 85, and 86, it was the NPP party that was in power. A lot of people died. Houses were burned. Ivan, I want to also tell Mahama Yarga.
You're speaking to Benjamin.
In 2000, on 7th December 2000, there was another confusion in Bawku, led to the loss of life and properties. Who was in power at that time in the year 2000? Is it not the NDC government?
So I'm asking you.
I'm coming again. I want to take you again.
No, just to. I don't want it to take.
In 2007,
Mr. Zanga, I don't want this to take a political twist. That's what we are avoiding. How do we resolve
the? Yarga is taking it to a political twist. Listen, we are here.
I don't want it to go. The NDC said this, and the NPP.
That is exactly what Honorable.
I want us to go past this.
Let us not look at it from the political lens.
Mr. Zanga,
if you want to visit it that way, it's not going to go well.
All right. So to conclude, we had already concluded a conversation before we brought you in. To conclude, is MUSEC sitting on the matter? What can we expect in the coming days? Just to conclude.
Will be sitting on the matter, and this is not just a matter about the last night. There has been several instances. Last week, one person was gone. We are going to sit on it, and we will look at it.
When are you sitting?
We will communicate. We don't disclose when we are sitting and when we discuss.
Right.
This is a municipal security council that we have to sit and look at by law, by the Security and Intelligence Act. When we sit, we will take it to RESEC. RESEC will also report to National Security. We have been very fair and firm on the ground, and we would ensure the right things are done.
All right. Mr. Amadou,
I just want you to tell my Bahama Yarga uncle that, look, let us not tackle this politically.
All right.
From the tangent he is going, it's not going to help matters in Bawku at all.
Thank you, Mr. Zanga.
I'm sorry that all those people who lost their lives, whether you are a Fusasi, a Mampursi, we are Mosi, we are so sorry. And we share.
Thank you very much for joining the conversation. Amadou Hamza Zanga is the MCE for Bawku. So it is clear, having spoken to the MCE, Mr. Zanga, having spoken to the Bawku Central MP, Mahama Yariga, having spoken to Stephen Yakubu, the Upper East Regional Minister, this is a charged issue. Let's not stoke it further. The question is, what will it take to bring peace to Bawku? This conversation will go on. But stay with us. We return after the break for more conversations right here on the AM Show.